So you didn't win the Mega Millions jackpot. Now you got to go back to work and you want your money to work for you. So you're wondering, what is ROI? What's the different forms of it? And how do I get some? Welcome back to another episode of Gulf Coast Investing, where we look at all things investing right here on the Gulf Coast. I would love if you would like this video and consider subscribing to my channel to get more beautiful scenes like I'm going to show you at the end of this video, where we take a look at the beach right out here in Gulf Shores. So first things first, what is ROI? ROI stands for Return on Investment. ROI is determined when you look at your net income compared to your investment or your original principal that you put into that deal. So ROI is used to determine the efficiency of the deal and see if it's worth it or not. So a simple math example of what ROI would look like is if you brought a property to flip, let's say you spent $70,000 on that property, you put another $30,000 into fixing it up, the holding costs and the closing costs to get it ready and sell it. So your entire investment is $100,000. So at the closing table, you sold it for $120,000. So your net ROI would be $20,000 or 20% return on investment on that $100,000. So that $100,000 that you invested made you $20,000. So that's how you get a 20% ROI. So let's look at different types of ROI to see which ones you may have heard of, which ones you may not have heard of, and which ones you may be interested in. So some of the most popular types of real estate investment looking for the greatest and highest ROI, down here is the most popular short-term rentals. Long-term rentals, you have house flipping and commercial real estate, buying commercial properties. So first one that we're going to talk about is short-term rentals, short-term investing, short-term rentals. So that is the most popular down here on the Gulf Coast. So again, you buy a beachfront condo like the one that we started in this video. We're going to end at after this video. And you buy the condo, you put it on a short-term rental program, either yourself or you hire a property management company, and you put it on a short-term rental program. So that could be anywhere from 3-night minimums, 7-night minimums. When we get into the winter time down here, we have anywhere from 1 week, 2 week to 1 to 2 month minimums, or 1 to 2 month night stays. So typically a short-term rental is going to be under 30 days. Really under 6 months is considered a short-term rental. Again, during the summer busy season down here, short-term rentals are literally every 3, 4, or 7 days. And that's where somebody checks out on Saturday at 10 a.m. in the morning. The cleaners go in there, they clean everything, make sure everything looks good, make sure nothing's broken. You send a text at 4 p.m. just a couple hours later, and then the next renter gets in there. And you do that over and over again. Again, 52 weeks in the year. Some properties, if you really run it good, you could have anywhere from 30 to 40 rentals. And again, because that's taking into effect during the summer, that's during the summer season. During the winter season, like we have clients that just booked, there's a lady that's going to go in for 2 months. There's another lady that is going to go in for 3 months and is going to have that property that entire time. But again, short-term rentals, those are really, you're looking for something that's durable, something that can, put up with a lot of check-ins, check-outs. Definitely is more hands-on, so it's better if you're closer to the area or you hire somebody that lives in the area to manage that property for you. Again, with that, you're having families coming in and out every couple days, so things break, there's light bulbs that go out, batteries that need to be changed, things like that would all be considered short-term rentals. So that's short-term rentals. So now we're going to look at long-term rentals. So long-term rentals, again, they're a little bit more self-explanatory. They're popular, like if you have an apartment complex, those are going to be, usually at least 1 year rentals that you're going to have on the books. The most popular way to get in for the average person or average investor is you buy a house, you fix it up if it needs any fixing. Hopefully it doesn't need that much work, but you get it ready. you go, you find a renter, and you get them in that property, and they have either a 1-year rent or a 2-year rent, just whatever you agree upon. So obviously, long term, it's a longer period of time. So investors that have, normally a couple of these are just getting started out. They normally manage the property themselves. So normally it's pretty easy. You always, kind of a tip there, you always want to check in with your renter at least once a month, make sure they're taken care of, see if there's anything they need. Obviously, that opens up the door for them saying, oh yeah, can you fix this or fix that? But you want to make sure your renter's happy. Again, so if you have a couple properties, a little bit more easier to maintain. Once you start building your portfolio, or you buy a big apartment complex, then you want to hire a on-site property manager or a property management company to manage those long-term rentals for you. Make sure everything's taken care of. Big things with those are the leases. Make sure your lease is solid. Make sure you're able at the end of your lease to put any markups to go up in price for the next year on that lease. And then obviously you want to make sure that you really screen that tenant. That tenant is essentially in business with you, so screen them like you would a business partner. Make sure that they're going to pay you. They're going to pay you on time. That's kind of the biggest thing with the long-term rentals. And again, a lot less work than the short term. You just wait, check in with them once a month. If they need anything, you take care of them. At the next year, you either have to find a new rental or a new renter, or you go to them and say, hey, you want to renew your lease, and then you don't have to worry about people moving out, people moving in, finding a new renter. Your occupancy rate stays 100%. So that's some of the pros for long-term rentals. Another one that we look at is house flipping. So this is one that is real popular. Everybody would love to do it. This is essentially the Chip and Joanna Gaines of the world. So again, they were doing it for clients, but people want to do that for themselves. You go find a property that needs either the seller's in distress, they need to sell. There could be all types of reasons the property's just in bad shape. There's been a death in the family. Something is going on with the property that you're able to buy it at a discount. You go in there, you do the necessary work to flip it. So of course, if you watch HGTV and all those fun shows, you go in and typically you're not going to rip walls down and do complete floor plans unless you're really at a more advanced level. You have a general contractor's license or partnered with one to do that. But typically you're going to come in, you're going to repaint the whole place, maybe put in new flooring, new appliances, update the countertops, the landscaping, do a complete 360, or I guess a complete 180, flip the house around, put it right back on the market, and then sell it. There are other flippers that's called kind of like a buy, flip, and hold. And that's where you buy it and you do that flip. You may not put in as nice of upgrades because you're going to have a renter come in. So you're going to actually hold on to it. You're going to have a long-term renter that is going to come into that property, and they're going to stay there, a 1 to 2 year lease. So that one you may not put the highest of end finishes and things like that, but you take care of all the problems, get you an inspection, take care of electrical issues, plumbing issues, all that kind of stuff, and you flip it. Again, maybe not quite as high-end upgrades if you're going to flip it and turn around and rent it. If you're going to flip it and turn around and sell it, again, you're going to put in the nicer upgrades and get it up to the standard of the rest of the neighborhood and flip that for a profit. Another popular one that's definitely harder to get into, you want to know what you're doing, and that is commercial real estate, commercial ROI. So we're going to have a couple videos that are going to be dedicated to that, maybe even bring in a couple commercial real estate agents, some professionals that really know the game well to give y'all good insight and knowledge into the commercial real estate world. Again, the commercial real estate is kind of more high risk, high reward. So again, that could be things like flipping the property, coming in and buying businesses that are already on site that are working. You may buy the business itself. The most popular is like a strip center. You have a strip mall with a Publix, and then you have a grocery store, a hair cutting place, so your salon. It may have a fast food takeout place. Kind of different popular things. Especially now since the pandemic and all that happened. Look at the places that stayed open. So if you have a shopping center and that shopping center, again, has the essential businesses that stayed open, grocery stores and things like that, that's kind of what you want to go after. So in that case, you're not buying the business, but you're buying the property, the land, and the building itself. So again, that's kind of a whole nother video, because that's a couple videos in itself to go over commercial, triple net leases and all that kind of things. But commercial property is another very popular one. Again, could be higher risk. You're going to have to put a lot more into it to get it ready, a little more overhead, things like that, depending on the property and what you're doing with it. But again, that's higher reward. Those are the type properties. Even hotels and apartment buildings, things like that. That all falls under commercial. Really, anything that is, so a fourplex is, if you see a unit and it has four different living quarters, four different houses inside of it. So that would be a fourplex. So anything above that is considered commercial. So you'd have to get a commercial lender to lend you money on that property. And again, whole different ballgame with that. But commercial is another very popular type of real estate, and another very great way to get that real estate ROI. Thank you so much for watching. Now make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more great content. Now, let's go hit the beach.